Against? Thanks, carried. Number 3, public participation. Drusilla, welcome. Would you like to come up and talk to us, please? Yeah. She's here to speak about a few different topics and some of the things she's been working on. Welcome.
This is it. This is, oh, is that going?
Yep.
Kia ora. I'm just so happy to see a lot of the same faces that I know, okay, which is really, really good. I'm going to try and keep it simple. Okay, I'll just get organised here for 1 minute. I do have paperwork to give out. There's some paperwork for the Mayor.
Thank you.
And just some extra paperwork. And that's all. I run out of time, and as usual, and I think some of it you might have already had. So the first thing is I'm going to talk about is rail. All right. I'm Toa 2000. I've set up the company 2019, and the kaupapa is to promote a low emission rail system for Aotearoa New Zealand, while also promoting historic rail and transport services to support better water infrastructure services projects. So following the Free Waters, the target for this is 225. There's also 2 or 3 groups out there. One is in a company in England who want to bring fast rail. I've actually bought, there's an article in the AA just recently. I'm still trying to follow that one up. There's a meeting tonight at the library by another crowd, but there's also an element that are really like protesters, and I don't want to really be involved with that. I have to raise 200 million, 100 million to set it up. It's actually a mapping system, and it will show the history of rail right through New Zealand and bring in big players. And it involves setting up the company, which is a mapping system, and then it involves setting up an incorporated society, which will be all your tradies. I'm looking at when they do Lake Onslow. My dad did the Stillwater mine disaster. I'm a coal miner's daughter. I come from the West Coast. My dad did Manapori. We lived in the hydro village. I won't speak any more on that because that's going to be an ongoing thing, and it really depends on the big players. And if this company does come and bring it to New Zealand, we want to be ready, because otherwise it's going to affect your tradies and the water projects, and it's quite complicated. So I'm just doing one thing at a time. This is just to make you aware. The second thing is I want to talk about the Te Kaha Foundation, Friends of the Multi-Arena. A lot of you may not know that I did the Commonwealth Games when I was a kid, and it united the whole city. And that's what I think we need to do. Once you get your stadium up and built, you need to have a business model that's going to unite everybody, and maybe the foundation, and you can incorporate the convention centre and the town hall, and it will help unite the people. At the moment, I can't sell my house and donate you any money towards that project because you don't have a legal entity. So that needs to happen. The second one is the bus exchange. I get hoo-ha about that because just right now, I've been up since 4 this morning. I drove in, I caught a bus, I've been to work, I've come down here, I've been sitting here doing paperwork. I had a desk. I do the same. I catch 22 buses a day. I looked at moving back into town. I live in Rangiora. I can't afford to, and now I've ended up with my son at home. So there's all that thing. So a lot of us workers, I have to be on site by 6:30, so I can actually drive all the way from Rangiora, catch the Waimakariri bus, Y number 17, bus into the hospital, to be at work by 6:30, but if I use the Rangiora bus, I don't get to work till 7. And I've got to beat all the guys. And there's a lot of people that are doing that. There's a lot of nurses. The bus stop, we need a bus stop either 13 Hereford Street, but I've heard that with the changes it might be going to be a bus Cashel Street. And that's a real, because we're going, from next week, I will be actually working on the towers. I've been working on the loading dock since October, and we're going to end up with another 500 workers. If you need to be in touch with my boss, I can give you the email and all that. So we need another bus. We need a bus stop, number 17, and also the bus exchange. They have that area where you want to sit shut. I know they had issues, and I was there when somebody got punched over, but the thing is, it's our bus exchange. There's nowhere to sit and have a meal or sit and take your lunch. But yesterday I saw 2 people standing, eating. The kids, they're all over the floor, so you've got to climb around them after 4 o'clock. So we need that area open for the public. And now the next thing is Santa's Lost Key. I've written a play. I've been working on that 8 years. I've got 100 grand tied up in it. I'm going in the Arts Centre 226. Film commission come down. It was a bit of a debacle. And no funding, so I've had to fund it myself. Because I live in Rangiora, I'm eligible for creative community funding until I have somebody in my group who actually lives in Christchurch. Mm-hmm. And probably by the time that happens, we'll have it up and going.
Yeah, Drusilla, I've let you go over time, but are you nearly finished?
Yes.
Thank you. Yeah, good, carry on.
With regards to Santa's Lost Key, Santa loses key and his toys go all over Christchurch, right? 2 tanawhas, giraffe and all that. The mothership, long term, 2/24/25, I would like to see a fairy elf alien festival in the arts down High Street. You could develop that whole area for the community and do a fairy elf alien festival, because if you actually walk on High Street and look at the ANZ Bank, which I put up, right, it looks like the mothership. You've got to think. So this isn't actually Christchurch. This is the land of King Forget-Me-Not, and my film is based on a little town called Crystalline, which is all the only modern building is the Christchurch art gallery, and most of the buildings are after 207, like the provincial chambers, all those things.
Thank you very much. Thank you for coming in. Righty-o.
Yeah. I've got to go to work.
Good on you. See ya. Right, deputations and presentations. We have no petitions, so we'll move on to the zone